Andy Wang is the wellness accountant.
But then I'm in the game of business and I absolutely love it.
that.
Love it.
He's a partner at Codex Partners and is also the co-founder of two successful companies, eWest Foods and Geared Draft and Draw.
I liked accounting, but I wanted to experience what it felt like to be on the other side.
He's passionate about working with small business owners.
I love working with people who care about their business.
Yes. And combining their passions with the numbers side of their business.
The valuable lesson I learned is that without the core founder driving at the helm, no matter how many carrots you dangle, no one's going to care about it as much as you.
He's passionate about accounting and about life.
I like it. It's just like a dun dun dun.
It was really interesting to talk to him about how he integrates the two.
If you can do things which make you feel unstoppable, you'll be happy.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Working with Andy gives clients a unique alternative to work with someone outside of the traditional accounting practices.
Hey guys, I'm Andy Wang, the wellness accountant, and I'm super excited to be on the Accountants on Purpose podcast.
Hi, I'm Sarah Bartholomew's from YouLegal. The Accountants on Purpose podcast showcases inspiring accountants who are leaders in their field.
And then it just came to me like a bolt of blue.
What makes them tick?
Love it.
How did they get to where they are?
I want to inspire.
And what do they do now for their teams, their clients, and the world?
What's your mantra?
My mantra. I don't think, for me, I don't think there's one mantra which serves me in all the different areas of life that I can apply forever.
Yeah.
So I just find in every different space, I've got a different mantra which helps me get along.
Okay.
But the one which I find myself using the most often is everything is feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not feeling at my peak, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, whatever it is, or if lots of obstacles are popping up in my life, I take that as feedback, basically asking myself, hang on, what is this trying to tell me about my life? Do I need to course correct somewhere? Is there something unconscious which I need to dig into? Am I working too much? That's why I'm feeling really lethargic and unhealthy. So I just try and be really in tune with what's going on around me, which is affecting me. That's probably... Is that a mantra? I don't know.
As close to a mantra as you.
Yeah. A way of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
What's the first thing you notice about people?
The thing which I notice about people first, a lot of the time is body language and also, this sounds a bit weird, but their vibe. Everyone has a different vibe. And when I first meet someone, immediately the first thing I pick up on is the vibe, which can be affected by body language, I think.
Yeah.
And from that, I sort of feel like, okay, that person's standoffish, this is how I'll approach it. Or, hey, that person's really extroverted, that'd be really easy to talk to. So the first thing is just the vibe. Because I think it's because I'm an introvert. So if I know their vibe, I know how to go in to talk to them.
Yeah.
And if they are easy to talk to, it makes it so much easier for me to talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if
And
it's
it probably makes you more sensitive to that
extremely
vibe too.
being an introvert.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So when someone is not standoffish, but just say they're introverted too, then I know, oh, okay.
Got to try harder.
Yeah, got to try harder. This is the game we're playing here where, okay, I need to be careful about how I navigate this.
They're probably not going to be interested in small talk.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. You've obviously done some research on that.
I'm married to one.
Yeah.
What's something most people don't know about you?
I feel like I'm a walking paradox in the sense that I'm into a lot of different stuff which might contradict each other. You know how in life you'll meet people and sometimes, for example, you meet someone who's all about sport and then that's like they go all in on that, right? Contrary to the mastery thing, I feel like I'm the jack of many trades in the sense that I'm an absolute nerd and a geek at heart. I play Magic the Gathering card games, play computer games, all that sort of stuff. But then I'm also a fitness and health junkie as well. Also love the spiritual side, meditation, all that sort of stuff. But then I'm in the game of business and I absolutely love
that.
Love it, right? So I feel like I go into all these different spaces driven by whatever's interesting to me.
Yeah, but I also think that you've managed to kind of meld those things that might be seemingly paradoxical and get them to work together in areas
Thank you.
of your life too.
Thank you. I would take that. I would take that as a compliment because to me, it's just been setting the expectation that there is no expectation for me to be in one lane.
Yeah, cool. I like that.
Mm.
It's extremely valuable.
Oh, thank you.
Don't
yeah.
you think?
Well, it's been something which has really been driven by I don't want to feel trapped. You know what it is? That's what it is. It's the feeling of I want freedom and the freedom to explore all the different areas in life. So recently, for example, on Facebook, I put out a post saying, Facebook friends, help. I, for some reason, just feel like I want to learn how to sing.
Oh, yes. I responded to that.
You did. Absolutely. And I got so many responses. Facebook came through and it's not like I always wanted to know how to sing from a young age, but it's one of those things where I thought it'd be just really cool to do and enjoy my own singing voice as opposed to cringing at it. So that's what I want to experience right now and that's what I'm going to go do. So it's really the freedom to explore life.
Yeah. So you call yourself a wellness accountant. What does that mean?
That actually is, well, why I did that first to begin with that. It came from me not wanting to be boxed in.
Okay.
Right? A few years ago when I first got into business for myself, I wanted to create a persona, a public image or a persona, which didn't just mean I had to talk about accounting stuff. There's only so much tax content and accounting content that I can put out without being like, oh my God, I just want to talk about something else now.
Yeah.
So the wellness accountant came because I loved personal development.
Yes.
And I do love accounting and business. So that was my way of merging the two worlds. It gave me an excuse. Once again, I didn't want to box myself in. It gave me an excuse to be able to explore the different areas and for it not to be weird.
Yeah.
Because if I had, for example, I called myself Taxmaster 2000.
Yeah. You'd be trapped as a tax master.
2000.
And all you talk about
is
tax from the 2000s.
Exactly. I really hope there's a DJ at some point which calls himself the Taxmaster 2000.
You've put it out there now.
Yeah, someone make it come true.
How important then is personal branding for accountants?
I think it's absolutely everything, not just because we're in a society right now where everyone's pushing personal brand, online content, all that sort of stuff, but even if you don't care about that stuff, I think it's important because it determines who you're going to work with hugely. So I didn't really make my personal brand thinking I want to do all this content. I did do content when I felt like it. But the beauty of it was the content which I did and the brand that I had spoke to a specific niche of the market. I just wanted to be me. When I first left my job and created the business, I remember one of the first things I felt to myself was, I'm leaving because I didn't want to have this corporate veil where when people meet me, they're meeting the corporate me.
And that already have an idea of what that is.
Exactly, right? And I wanted for me to be me. When I meet you, I want me to come to the table, not I'm going to do management talk, corporate talk here. And I wanted the personal brand to reflect that. So I do believe accountants or anyone who is in business for themselves, or even if you're not, have a brand where you're able to just be you. Super important.
Yeah, I remember as a baby lawyer, I started work at Thompson's, a big firm here in Adelaide, and I remember them saying, even if you aren't putting effort into this personal branding thing, you've got one anyway. And so being aware of it and making an effort around it to always be consistent with it, whether that's always being on time or always bringing cupcakes or whatever it is that people kind of relate to you about. Having that be something that you influence rather than it just is.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really good point, that it just is probably the worst thing because it's unconscious. And I feel that about everything in life, where even when it comes down to our personality, the relationships we have, everything, if we just leave it as it just is without being conscious, without reviewing it and asking, is this effective or is it not? Then things sort of just flow along and we just accept it, as opposed to if you put effort into, okay, this is what I want it to be, then at least it's more goal orientated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm all about the goals. Who do you love working with?
Working with in terms of, so if I split it into two categories, you can tell I'm a left brain thinker where my brain is categorizing your questions now. Immediately, from a client point of view, I love working with people who care about their business.
Yes.
I started off when people used to ask me, who do you want to specialize working with? I just said small business owners, and everyone says that. But for me, the criteria was more personality based.
Okay.
We had to meet. We have to get along. My test was if we can have dinner together and just banter, we're going to work well together. Right? Because, for example, if a client had an expectation of me to be the corporate veil Andy, it's not going to really fit well, because every time I'm meeting with them,
I have to be that person.
I have to be that person.
And not just yourself.
And exactly. And the flip side is they're not going to enjoy it, because if I just start talking like I am now and riffing off the top of my head, they might not enjoy that too. They might want corporate talk.
Yeah.
Right? So at the start, it was very personality based, but by accident, I found that a lot of people in the health and wellness space were responding to that. And a lot of my content, which was around personal development and business, spoke to people in health and wellness, coaching the personal development crowd, which I just realized I didn't answer your first question. What is a wellness accountant? That's what it is. It's the merging of the two, which speaks to people in health and wellness.
And then those people turned up as your ideal client as well.
Exactly. So the ideal client came by accident.
Or by putting yourself out there as yourself.
Exactly. A purposeful accident.
Yeah. Love that. Recently, you shared a YouTube video of yourself, and the title was Your Life Never Lies. What you value most is what your life reveals. Tell me more about that concept.
When you read it back to me that way, it sounds really sinister. No.
Maybe it's just the emphasis I put on that.
I like it. It's just like a dun dun dun. The concept of values I first learned from a book I read by a gentleman called Dr. John DeMartini. And I went on to explore it a lot more with a business owner here in Adelaide called Michael Johnson. He runs the Mojo Master.
Yes.
Yeah, he's so knowledgeable. He's amazing at just
he is amazing.
Blowing your brain.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So I did a few of his workshops, and off the back of it, I realized that everyone is driven by their values. And when I say values, I don't mean social idealisms like kindness, honesty. Those are things which everyone wants to try and
aspire to.
Exactly. When I say values, I mean these are the things that we all do, regardless of if we get paid for it, we get acknowledged for it, regardless of the reward, in air quotes, we all do these things. And I really believe that our lives that we're currently living show us what our highest values are. And the whole idea behind that is if we're living our highest top 3 values, we will be fulfilled, living a life of love in the sense that if you really love something, you love it and hate it at the same time, right? Like people with kids, they absolutely love their kids, but it's a love-hate relationship. I don't have kids, but that's what I'm told anyway. But if people are living their highest values, then doesn't need to be an excuse to do it. So for example, and values can change, but there's always, there's always some pattern behind them. Mine, creativity.
Yes.
Growth in terms of personal and business, just growth overall.
Yes.
And expression. And expression for me is tied in with creativity as well. As long as whatever I can do allows me to be creative, express myself, which comes back down to that freedom thing again, and I feel like I'm growing, whether it's business, wealth, whatever it is,
Then
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
So I'm just thinking now about you Legal's values. So I just, like you, run my own business so I can reflect my own values in my business, and they haven't changed in the last 5 or 6 years since we've been running, and they are thoughtful, love, unstoppable. So yeah, and I sometimes reflect on whether they need updating or changing, but we live them every day as a team. And it's also how I've been able to build my team with people who have the same values, which just makes everything easier.
Absolutely. It's cool that you have your values and your business values
Aligned.
Oftentimes, I find the business has its own values, and then I will have my own, which personally I need met. For example, my business values may not necessarily be creativity, because creative accounting is something which accountants try not to be.
Yes. Well, or the tax office frowns on.
Exactly. Or the tax office frowns on. But creativity around business strategy and things like that, coming up with solutions, is extremely powerful. So I find personal values and business values can differ, but it's awesome that yours are aligned.
Just makes my life so much easier.
Absolutely.
Everything's aligned.
And how true is it that you don't need to be rewarded or paid to do those three things?
Yeah.
If you can do things which make you feel unstoppable, you'll be happy.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And no one has to know, as you said.
Exactly.
So how did you start your two companies, eWest Food and Geared Draft and Draw?
eWest Food. So these two companies, just to give a bit of context to people, these two companies, eWest Foods, I had for a long time. That company I started when I was 1 year or 2 years into working. So I think I was about 22. I started the company, and it's been going on up until maybe 2 years ago. So it's been a long-running company, and that started because at the time I always knew in my heart that I liked accounting, but I wanted to experience what it felt like to be on the other side. As in, to me, it felt like a bit of a hypocrisy isn't the right word. It felt hypocritical.
Yeah.
That I would be advising business owners.
Yeah, without having started one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I wanted to just get a lot of experience. And back in the day, for some reason, the idea of being a director on multiple boards felt cool. This is young me, young 20.
I think it's still cool for a lot of people.
It is. And there's nothing wrong with it. To me, that's what I wanted to do at the time. So I wanted to put myself out there and get experience, chalk up experience on it. So I just gave out my services based on what I was learning at the time, the limited knowledge I had, to all my friends who wanted to start businesses, and some of them actually ended up starting businesses. And as a result, it was very much along the lines of, hey, you've been here from the start, you've given us invaluable advice, may as well join the company. That's how that one started.
Yeah.
And Geared was a similar situation, but that was 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And it only recently ended because the main founder moved overseas. But the company itself, I actually really loved, where it was providing drafting solutions for a lot of engineering companies.
Oh, wow.
But we were automating a lot of the process. So there was a lot of efficiencies that we had. Yeah. I learned a valuable lesson from that, where both me and the founder, where we thought if we gave enough of a carrot to dangle to everyone involved in the company, it would grow. The valuable lesson I learned is that without the core founder driving at the helm, no matter how many carrots you dangle, no one's going to care about it as much as you.
And also that different things drive people. And it's not necessarily getting shares or getting a big paycheck or that people want. And so working that out is pretty key.
Huge values.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's values are different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what drives them in life, which might be values related, but might be more kind of what fulfills them, I suppose.
Absolutely.
What's been the biggest hurdle in your life or career, and how did you overcome it?
The biggest hurdle in life, actually it's the same thing for me, for life and career, is backing myself. I didn't grow up in an environment which fostered great self-esteem. And as a result, I found when I entered the workforce, I was really quiet. The whole introvert thing came up. And I could never speak to my elders or directors or partners as if we were just human to human. I always felt afraid to. So it's really putting myself out there, even though when I know I had the answer, it's allowing myself to be seen and then backing myself for it to be okay if I did get it wrong. So the constant obstacle which I've had to overcome, and to this day I still find myself caught in the same pattern, is backing myself.
It is a tough one, especially if it's not something that was fostered as a kid, probably.
Yeah, exactly. That stuff from childhood makes a huge difference. And I find with a lot of personal growth I do, it's all about leaning into fear so that I can back myself. It's been a great journey and I've loved it, but that's an obstacle which pops up again and again for me.
So this question is pretty interesting considering what we were talking about just before we started the show. How do you keep up with such a busy life? Do you think that men can find it hard to admit when they need time out?
To that second part, absolutely.
Yeah.
I recently just came back from Brisbane from a workshop where it was designed for men.
Wow.
The angle of it was that in today's society, whether it's spoken or unspoken, men are told to harden up, to keep going, get on with it, she'll be right. And we don't really have many safe spaces. There's more now, but we don't really have many safe spaces where we're able to express and do it in a way where we have an environment around us which supports us. Because of that, oftentimes we just keep going. We keep it in. And if I'm like that, then oftentimes the male friends around me are going to be like that.
Yeah.
So it's not like I can be open with them too. And oftentimes they probably haven't built the container to be able to receive me breaking down anyway. So it would just be weird. That is true for a lot of people. I'm lucky in the sense that I have met many men who can act as that support for me. But to answer your question, absolutely, in today's society, the default is just keep going. I need to make this work.
And be there for people.
Be there for people. Great point.
Be a breadwinner. Be a great lover. Be everything.
Everything.
All in once. A great parent.
Everything. Absolutely. And one thing which came up very often in this workshop was a lot of men didn't know how to receive. They were all giving. We all knew how to give, to do this for the family, to do this for our future, to be there for X, Y, Z, right? But a lot of men didn't know how to receive, as in to receive love, to receive all of that was just weird. And that's something which I've struggled with even in my relationship too. And that's something I keep learning of. Andy, it's okay. You don't have to be, air quotes, strong all the time. And to not be strong doesn't mean you're weak. you can allow yourself to be held, be loved, be supported. It's a very yin-yang situation.
Yeah.
So to the first part of that question, leading a busy life, I try and find balance.
Mm-hmm.
I was mentioning to you before, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I've booked myself in for a staycation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling it a director's retreat, where I am not bringing my laptop because that means I work.
Yes.
Because that's my default.
Yes.
I've told my beautiful partner that I need this space to think and be alone and meditate. I'm literally bringing a journal, paper to write plan on and just get things out of my head, because I've realized I need that time away. I need balance away from work to work out, am I still living my highest values? Am I living my path, which I feel aligned to in life? And if I'm off course, what am I feeling called to?
And if you're just in that busyness, you don't feel or notice.
We don't. And I would say feel and hear.
Yeah.
Because I do meditation every day because I find it's oftentimes when I'm not working
In the quiet,
absolutely, when I come up with solutions or ideas. And without it, I'm just too busy working.
Well, we hear that from people all the time. They have their ideas in the shower. It's that time where they're not
working,
thinking about other things. They've just got that quiet mind and
absolutely. And with the quiet mind, I find jotting down all those ideas, all that creativity which comes out of it, is really powerful. I'm personally an overworker, as in I don't need a reminder to work. Yeah. My default is work. So I need a reminder to not work.
Yeah. That's a really interesting. I'd love to hear how it goes afterwards.
I'll let you know.
What you get out of it. Is there anything I haven't asked you that I should have?
Done really well with all the questions.
Thanks.
I was going to say you haven't asked me what I'm doing this weekend, but
you've just told
I've just told you. But I'm also at the end of the weekend, I'm going to Book of Mormon.
Oh wow!
I'm actually really excited about that. Not so much because I know what it's about. I've had no idea, but I had a friend who came back from America and they said, "Oh, there's this play called Book of Mormon, and if you get a chance, you have to go to see it. But getting tickets in America is so hard.
Yeah.
You've got to enter a lottery."
Wow!
And when it got announced in Adelaide, I was like, there we go. I don't know what it's about, but
you'll go on the recommendation.
I'll go on the recommendation
and see how you go.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy it.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the podcast today. If you're still listening, you can find the show notes on our website, ulegal.com.au. You're welcome to go ahead and subscribe, leave a review, and share the podcast with anyone that you think might benefit from it, anyone that you think is open to helping us create a world with a purpose that's higher than profit. If you're an accountant on purpose, feel free to find our Facebook page and join our community.